Video, we'll be looking at the partial fraction. So in partial fraction, we'll be looking at how you can come up with a partial fraction when you've been given a single fraction. Okay, before we go into detail, first of all, we need to understand what the word partial fraction is. Okay, now for us, we shall start with this first. This question, write it as a single fraction. Which question exactly? This question which is here. So we can see that you have a question which is this part, right? Now, when you've been given something that is like that, what are you going to do? The first thing that you do in here is you look out for the common denominator. So if I may ask, what is the common denominator here? The common denominator here, it is this one and this one. So meaning it will be x minus 2, then x plus 1. So that is the common what? Denominator. Then x minus 2 into the denominator. When you divide down here, meaning that x minus 2 and x minus 2, they will divide. What you remain with, you're going to remain with the other side, meaning it will be x times x plus 1 times 1, meaning it will be 1, then x plus 1, then plus, then 3, then x plus 1 when you divide with the other side, meaning this part here, it will cancel, you remain with 1, then you remain with, it will be 1, then you remain with x minus 2, so it will be x minus 2, like that. Then the next thing, I'll multiply 1 times x. So meaning the answer there, it is x plus 1 minus plus, then 3 times x. So it will be 3x minus 6 over. I'll also multiply it down, meaning it will be x times x plus 1 minus 2, then x plus 1. So after you have done that, let's go to the next step. I will write the like terms together on top or on the numerator. So I have x and I have 3x. So let me write that 3x plus x, then plus 1 minus x. Then I will have something like x times x. What's the answer? So you have x what? Squared. Then x times 1. So there to be plus x, then negative 2 times x, so it will be negative 2x, then negative 2 times 1, so you have negative 2. Then the next thing that you do there, it is 3x plus x, so you have 4x, then 1 minus 6, the answer there, it is negative 5 over x squared minus x minus 2, like that. So that is how you answer this type of what question. Now here we were given the partial function. So if you look at, these are the partial function. In here, we'll be dealing with the single function, which is this one, or single fraction. Then we'll be writing it back, or will be the reverse of this into partial fraction. So what we'll be doing, we'll be given this one, which is x, 4x minus 5 over then x squared minus x minus 2. Then we shall be writing it in the form of 1 over x minus 2, then plus 3 over x plus 1. So these are the things that we'll be writing in the form. So these part here are what we call partial fraction. So these are what we call partial fraction. Now we can't just write this partial fraction without some rules. So first of all, you need to know some rules. That's when you can able to write the correct partial fraction. Okay, let's start now. So here, when the denominator is a linear function, so what you need to take note of, let's take note of something here. When the denominator of the function or the fraction that you've been given, it is having the linear what? Function. So a linear function, it is a function. So this is a linear function. A linear function, it's a function that is in this form. So I can say mx plus c. So this is what we call a linear function. So this means that any function which is like this is a linear function, which is 2x, this is a linear function. So any function that is in this order, it is a linear what? Function. So if all of these are the linear function, now we are having anything that is under a linear function. So what do you do? Or they ask you to write it in the partial fraction. So a good example, I can say you have been given, like you've been given a on top. Okay, let me just do this. You have been given a constant number, over down you have the linear function. So these are the linear function that you have been given. So you have the linear function, which is x plus a and x plus b. Now we are expressing this one into partial fraction. So the function, the way it will be like this. You have a over this one. So on top, you're gonna have a constant number, then over the linear function, which you have been given, then plus b like that over the linear function that you have been given. So then we solve like that. So if I may ask, what is the common denominator here? The common denominator, according to what you have, it is this. So I'll put the common denominator this side. So to x plus a, then x plus b. So I'll be multiplying this part, multiply with all of this, right? So I'm multiplying all of that, meaning that what you're going to remain with, you're going just to remain with the x, because this part, it will divide with that. So you're going to remain with capital A. Then what happens if I multiply this part here with this side, meaning that the thing that will happen is that it will be a, this part and this part, they'll cancel. So meaning that I'll have a, this is x plus, or I have x plus b, like that, plus then b. So what will happen? This part, when you divide with that, meaning that I'll remain with x plus a. So these are the things that you need to take note of. Okay, now let's go to an example that we can solve so that we can check out, right? Okay, now just imagine you have a function which is like this. So you have 11 minus 3x over x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now, what do you do exactly when you have been given a function which is like that? And this question says that resolve 11 minus 3x over x squared plus 2x minus 3 into partial fraction. Now, what you've been given exactly, the thing that you've been given exactly, this is the single function or the single fraction. Now we are putting it into partial fraction. So what do? I will factorize my denominator to check out what am I having. Okay, so we have 11 minus 3x over. So in here we have x squared. What are the products and fact? So the product in here, it is negative 3 and the sum, it is 2. So this means that you have positive 3 like that, x, then minus x. So the factors that you're gonna have, you have positive 3 and the negative 1. So those are the factors that you will have. Okay, what is the common denominator? Oh, what is the common factor there? The one which is common is x. So I'll factor out x. So there to x plus 3. Then what's common? Negative 1. So it will be x plus 3. So the next thing that you have, we have 11 minus 3x over what? X minus 1, then x plus 3. That is the factor, or that is the factorized way. Now, since we have factorized, we have 11 minus 3x over what exactly? You have x minus 1, then x plus 3. So these functions which are down, these are the linear functions, meaning that on the partial fraction, the numerator, it will be a constant number. So it will just be a over x minus 1, then plus, I'll say b here over x plus 3. So after doing that, what is the next? I'll put the brackets like that. I'll get the common denominator. So what's the common denominator here? Common denominator here is x minus 1 and x plus 3. So I'll say x minus 1 and x plus 3. I'll multiply it with this side. All of this side. I'll multiply with all of this side here. All of this side, right? Meaning this part, it will divide with everything. So I will remain with x minus 3x equal to, then there to be a, right? So when I divide this part divide by that, the only thing that will remain with it will be this one here. So it will be x plus 3 plus, then b like that. When I multiply again, I'll have this part and this part, I'll remain with this. So it will be x minus 1. Okay, now for me to find the values of a, right? So I want to find the value of a. So what I will do is that I'll go on the denominator. So what on the denominator we are having x minus 1. So what is the opposite of negative 1? It is positive what? 1. So what I will do, it will be, I'll say let x equal to positive 1. So wherever there's x in this equation, I'll put 1. So it's there to be 1 minus 3, then 1 equal to, then a there 1 plus 3, then plus b, then 1 minus 1. So I'll have 1 minus 3 equal to a there, then here it is what? 4, like that. Is it okay? Then plus 1 minus 1. The answer is what? 0. So in here, I will have something like a, okay, so in here, if you look, you have 11 here, like that, not x, sorry. So this is 11, like that. So 11 minus that. Then here you say 11 minus 3. So there it will 8 is equal to, then a there, then 4 here. So you divide by 4, I also divide by 4. So this simplifies that. My a, it is what? 2. So that is my what? A. Okay. Now let's go to the other function. So take note, you have gotten your A equal to 2. Now, you also go to B, this part. So when you go to B, what you need to do now, I'll go to the denominator of B. The denominator of B is x plus 3. Since it is x plus 3, what I will do exact, I'll get the opposite of positive 3. So meaning the opposite to be let x equal to negative 3. So that is the opposite of positive 3. Then I'll get the equation which we have been given, the one that we have from calculating, which is 11 equal to minus 3x equal to a, then x plus 3, then b, then x minus 1. So wherever there is x, I will place with negative 3. So I'll start, let me start. I'll have 11 minus, like that, 11 minus. So here you have x, so it will be negative 3, like that, equal to, then a, then negative 3 plus 3, right? Plus, then b, then negative 3 minus 1, like that. Meaning that you have 11, then 3 times 3. So that it's negative. So both of them would be 9, equal to, like that, equal to. So when you do equal to, there you have a, like that. What will be there? It will be 0 plus b, it is negative 4. So what will happen? You have 20 this side equal to 0 plus b, which is negative 4. Then I'll divide by negative 4. I also divide by negative 4. So this part and that part will divide, will be b. When you divide there, what's the answer? The answer to be negative 5. So b, it is your negative 5. So after writing b equal to negative 5, so I have found the answer like that. Then the next thing now, I will write this, right? Let me just wrap this part. So I'll write this where there is those letters, the one that we estimate. Okay, now let's do that. So you have the things that you have what? 11 minus 3x over x minus 1, then x plus 3. So in here we said a is equal to x minus 1 plus, then b, we said b is equal to what? X plus 3. So now where there is a, I'll put 2 over, I'll put that 2 because we have already calculated. I'll put 2, so it will be 2 there, then x minus 1. Then there, that's negative, so it will be negative 5 over x plus 3. So that is how you answer this particular type of the question. So now let's go to the other one. Now let's go to the other one. On the other one, which is this one, right? So when you're being given the question, which is like this, so if you check out, you have 2x squared minus 9x minus 35 over x 3 plus 2x 2 minus 5x minus 6. So if you have been given that, we need to factorize the denominator. So how do we factorize the denominator? Now, if you check out, that's it's a polynomial function. Now, since that is the polynomial function, meaning that since the polynomial function, meaning that we need to look out for a factor. So there are just two methods that we use in order to determine the factors, or in order to factorize the polynomial function, which is synthetic division and long division. So for now, let's just use synthetic division. Okay, if I put in synthetic division, we just get the coefficient of x. So in here where there's x squared, the coefficient is 1, then seconded by 2, then -5, then by what? 6. Now let's start with testing, right? So I'll start with testing with -1. So meaning this part will come down, right? To be 1. Then -1 times this, what is the answer? -1. So here what's the answer? It is 1. The -1 times -1 times +1, so that is -1. So here what's the answer? -6. The -1 times the -6, the answer there, it will be +6, like that. So what is your answer there? The answer there, it is 0. So this means that x plus 1 is a factor of this function, right? Why is a factor of this function? Because it has given us the remainder to be what? 0. So if it has given us the remainder to be 0, meaning that it's a factor. And the question is, how did we arrive at negative? How did we arrive at +1 instead of just getting this? So the way it's done, right? For here, we get the value of x. So if we had x plus 1 equal to 0, this means that x is equal to what? -1. So this -1 is the one that we have put here. That's why I've said x plus 1 is the what? A factor of that equation. Now, if I may ask, what is the quotient equation that you've been given? So the quotient equation that we have found, it is x squared. So this is the coefficient, which is 1. It will be x squared plus x, then minus what? 6. So that is the quotient equation that you have been given, or you have found. Now from there, I need to factorize this quotient equation. Let me factorize. Let me look out for the product sum factor. So the product in that situation, it's what? -6. The sum, it is 1. The factors in that situation, it will be 3 and so it will be 3 and what? -2. So those are the main factors. So it will be x squared plus 3x, then minus 2x minus x. So I'll do this. This is what I'll do. What's common? X is common. So to x there, which is common, then plus 3, then -2, then x +3. So I have negative x there minus 2, then x plus 3. So that is how I've factorized it. Now, since I have factorized, what next? The thing that I'll do is this. I'll say equal to, on top it will be 2x squared minus 9x minus 35 over, right? Over what? The first factor, it was x plus 1. That was the fixed factor. The second factors are these ones there, the one that you have from calculating. So we have what? X minus 2, then x plus 3. So those are the factors that we have been what? We have found. Okay, now since all of them, they are the linear functions, meaning that you have a over x plus 1 plus, then b it is what? X minus 2 plus, then c again it will be x plus 3, like that. Now if I may ask, what's the common denominator? It is this one. So I'll write the common denominator this side, which is x plus 1, then x minus 2, then x plus 3. So these are common denominators. Now if I multiply this part times everything here, I'll have an equation which is 2x squared minus 9x minus 35 equal to. So this part I multiply with a common denominator, meaning that this one and this they'll cancel. What are the things that will remain there? The things that will remain will be x minus 2 and the x plus 3. Those are the main things that will remain, plus then I'll say b. So there, this part and this part, they'll cancel. What will remain? It is this one and this one. So it will be x plus 1, then x plus 3. Then you also do the c thing. So meaning when I divide this and that, I'll remain with this and this. So I'll have x plus 1, then x minus 2. So those are the main things that I will remain with. Okay, now for me to find the value of a, right? So what am I supposed to do? I'll get the opposite of positive 1. So what's the opposite of positive 1 and or the denominator of a? So I'll say let x equal to negative 1. So I'll write negative 1 wherever there's x. So there negative 1 minus negative 1 equal to, or that is 35, sorry, equal to a negative 1 minus 2, then negative 1 plus 3. So if I put negative 1 here, it will be 0, negative 1 here again to be 0. So all of them that will be 0. So it's pointless to write that. So it will be 2 there, 1 minus, that will be positive 9 minus 35 equal to a negative 1 minus that, I will have negative 3. Then there it is what? Positive 2. So there the thing that should be there to be 2 plus 9 minus 35. So I'll have 2 plus 9 and minus 35. So what will be my answer? So my answer in here, this part, it will be negative 6. So my answer here to be negative 24 equal to a negative 6. So I'll divide by negative 6. I'll divide by negative 6. So this part and that part will divide. I'll have that is negative 4 if I'm not mistaken. When divide, it will be positive 4. So there your a, it is positive 4. So I'll say my a, it is positive what? It is my positive 4. That is a. Okay, now let me also go to the second one. Let me wrap from just from here. So that's how you do it. Okay, now let's also go to b. So for me to find b here, I need to get the opposite of that. So I'll say let x equal to, So what is the opposite of negative 2? The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. So meaning that wherever there's x, I'll put positive 2. So it will be 2 there, then 2 squared minus, then 2 minus 35 equal to, when I put 2 there to be 0, when I put 2 this side to be 0. So the only thing that I'll remain with it is b. So it will be 2 plus 1, then 2 plus 3. So what will happen? It will be 2, then here to be what? 4 minus 18 minus 35 equal to b. 3, then 5. So what will happen? It will be 2 times 4. It is 8. Then minus 18. It is 10. Then minus 34. So I'll have negative 45 equal to 3 times that, which is 15b. Then I'll divide by 15. Also divide by 15. So this, it tells me that b is equal to what? B is equal to, when I divide there, which is divided by, is supposed to be equal to 3. So it is negative 3. So I've also found b equal to negative 3. Now, when you have that, let's go to the other one. Now, when you have that, so what do? The next thing that you do there is this. Go to C now. Let me calculate C. So let's calculate C. So on C, when we are calculating the value of C, so how do we calculate the value of C in that situation? So we calculate the value of C like this. The opposite of this part is what? So I'll say let x equal to negative 3. So wherever there's x, I'll put negative 3. 2. Then 9 there. 35 equal to. So meaning that if I put negative 3 is 0, negative 3 here it is 0. So the only thing that is qualifying is C. So where there is x there, I'll put negative 3 plus 1, negative 3 minus 2. So in here to be 2, then here it is a positive 9. Then 9 times negative, it will be positive 27 minus 35 equal to C, negative 2, then negative 5. So I will have 2 times 9, like that, plus 27, then minus 35, which the answer is 10. So here it is 10 equal to C, negative 10. So I'll divide by negative 10, also divide by negative 10. So meaning that your C in this situation, it is a negative 1. So your C is equal to negative 1. So I'll say your C is equal to negative 1. Just like that. So that is how you answer this type of the question. Now let's substitute the values. Okay, now let's substitute the values. So what is the value of A? It is 4. So it will be 4 over x plus 1. Then B, negative. So it will be negative there, then x minus 2. The negative 1 over x plus 3. So that is how you do it. So that's how you do it. The next video will be looking into other ones. Okay.